Welcome to another Elegantly Knackered Sofa Chat. This feels quite scary, not actually knowing what's coming next. Once a month, Mark and I sit down on the sofa and answer some of your questions.
A little different than all the
Welcome to another Elegantly Knackered Style Sofa Chat. Once a month, Mark and I sit down on the sofa and answer some of your questions. So thank you for sending them through, and please do keep sending more questions through too. If you're new to this channel, we live in a renovation, and so our blog is about the renovation and also our lives within it. So let's get going. Now, we haven't rehearsed these. I've seen the questions coming in, but I haven't given them a lot of thought. You haven't seen them at all.
No, I haven't seen them at all.
So we'll just dive straight in. Now, one that wasn't in this question, but that has come in a bit before, was people wanted to know a bit more about Mark, the chef. So over to you.
I left school at 16, didn't really know what I wanted to do, and essentially my mum said to me, you need to find something to do. So I thought about it and I thought, well, I like the cooking. That'll be easy. Let's go and do that. And that's what I did. I went to catering college, did all my city and guilds, and then went and worked for a very good pub restaurant in Leighton Buzzard, or just outside of Leighton Buzzard.
Which is in Bedfordshire?
Hertfordshire?
No,
God, no. Buckinghamshire.
Buckinghamshire, that's
I think.
Yes, yeah,
I think it is. Yeah. And that was in Mentmore, which is a tiny little place outside of Leighton Buzzard. Anyone from the area will know it. And a place called The Stag, which I believe is still open. Had a lot of fun doing it, really enjoyed it. I lived in above the pub. There was a brigade of 6 of us, I think, or 5 of us, I can't remember. I started doing veg preparation, just the usual stuff, and then slowly worked my way up and used to do the head chef's job once a week every now and then, so it was good. I enjoyed it.
So you did that for a few years?
I think I did it for, it was either 4 or 5 years, I can't remember, something like that.
So you did it for 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
Stopped, and then now you really enjoy cooking when you get the opportunity. Like last night, we had friends over for
yeah,
dinner.
when I've got time and I'm not rushing and having to throw something together for dinner, yeah, it's just nice just to kind of experiment and do some stuff.
And just for the record, I do cook as well, because quite a lot of people think that you do all the cooking, and that's not entirely true.
I do most of the cooking.
You do now. That hasn't always been the case. At this moment in
I know,
time,
I don't know what's happened.
At this moment in time, you do more than me, and it's been the other way around at some point. Anyway, so yes, we both cook. We both enjoy cooking, but you are the trained chef.
I am. Yeah.
Right. Next question. Before we go ahead with the next question, would you like a biscuit?
I would love a biscuit.
These biscuits were sent to us from Biscuiteers, and they're Bridgerton inspired biscuits, and they are amazing. Look at those. And they taste fantastic.
Yeah, they're really nice.
So we've got a tea set and a fan. We've actually eaten some. We've eaten the carriage. There's the feather quill pen. Oh, this one's amazing. Those. The mirror and the wigs as well. So which one would you like?
Look.
Maybe one of those?
You'll give me the full choice then.
The nice ones.
Yeah, I'll have one of those, that's fine. Thank you.
So you're having the feather quill and I'll go for the silhouette. They're so good, aren't they? Thank you, Biscuiteers. I love these. And the tin is fab as well. They're on the Biscuiteer website at the moment. Love them. Right, okay. Let's crack on to the next question. There's 18 questions.
Is there?
Yeah. May not get onto all of those today. Let's see. We'll try and go as fast as we can. So I would love to hear, this is Lisa Bradley. I would love to hear more about the history of Star Corner, anything you might have learnt about the cottage, previous owners, have you discovered hidden treasures? Lots of questions in this. And how much do you know about the meaning behind the cottage name? Any ghost stories? Lovely videos, thank you. probably can't answer all of
All
those
those.
because that's a lot. We don't know a lot about the history of our cottage. It is something that we actually want to do when we have a little more time. We actually want to go and
do some
more
research. Yeah.
We're not sure.
He was a wealthy landowner, I think, was Star.
Was he?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, from memory.
So within our cluster, we're in the centre of the village, and there is our Star Corner, and then there's the Cottage Star Corner.
There was the Star
Corner
pub over there,
and the pub, the
Yeah.
Star. I always thought it was because the stars were amazing in the sky.
No, I'm sure it was a wealthy landowner.
Okay.
Because it's spelled STARRE, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So
we the truth is we don't know a lot about the history of the house, and it's something that at some point when we've got a bit further on with the renovation, we are going to go to City Hall, is it?
Yeah.
We can go and
Go to the Records Office.
Join the Historic Houses Trust.
yeah,
And they'll come and do some research. So it's on our radar. We want to
Yep.
know more.
we have found some treasures,
Yeah.
haven't we? Nothing of any intrinsic value, but
I think. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Well, I can say, I think what we'll do another time is actually we'll get the box of. We found things like half a silk bodice, some
Boots.
coin. In fact, there's a coin.
In fact, only the other day I was walking where we've been digging stuff up, and I just saw this coin lying on top of the soil after it being raining.
Let me see if I can find.
It's nothing particularly
Is it?
special. It's a half penny, I think it is.
Just a little half penny.
Half Victorian 1901. It's really warm,
So we
but
found lots of needles, threads.
lots of sewing paraphernalia, lots and lots of shellfish shells under the floorboards, in the garden, absolutely everywhere.
Food on them, didn't they? And then just toss them.
No, I don't know. I think it was just a cheap food. I think you'll find it was just cheap food. Shellfish was really cheap, poor man's food.
Okay.
But there is an awful lot of that knocking around
Yeah.
in the rubble and everything. So
I'm going to put my biscuit down for later. So I think what we'll do is we'll park that question because it's a good question, but we would like to revisit it.
actually, we could do a whole thing on that,
we could do a
actually,
whole
including the
video.
ghost stories.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, Lisa, we're going to.
Yeah, we'll come back to it,
move
especially
on
for you.
from that one.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing a coffee table book about your story with photographs? The answer is yes, and no, I'm not going to do it. I don't think we've taken enough photographs. We've done lots of videos, and I, in the past, have taken photographs to romanticise renovation living. Beautifully styled, artistic photographs, but
You've probably got enough to pull something together if you wanted to.
I am writing a coffee table book. Nobody knows what it's about apart from you.
Me.
I'm keeping it under wraps. It's not exactly about the renovation, but when the time's right, all will be revealed. It's very mysterious.
Yeah, it's very mysterious, cryptic. Yeah.
Right, okay. Perhaps not for the sofa chat, but would you do a walkthrough of the garden, Louisa? And what future plans might be? Love the things you're doing with the herb salad garden, and it would be interesting to see how the rest of the garden develops. Yes, I will do that. I'm totally embarrassed about the rest of the garden. It feels like a reclamation yard and a rubbish dump. But I'm so keen to get the garden going now that, yeah, I will do it. We'll do it soon.
Yeah.
No more hiding.
I don't care. It's
the
you
ideas
that's-
are brewing in my head.
I see about
I've got
it.
an idea what we're doing with it, and yeah, I'm about ready to show you. So that is something that I will do another time. Right, this is an interesting one. This is from Jacqueline Green. Would be lovely to know from each of you which room is your favourite so far, and also how you choose the music for the video as it matches so perfectly. So you go first with your room.
Well, that's difficult, isn't it? I don't know. If you encompass the whole house, I actually think that the kitchen will be amazing when it's done. So that's not strictly. If I've got to take it out of the old part of the house, I'd have to say this one, because this is as near as done as it's going to be.
Yeah.
So, which is a little bit unfair, really, because that will be really nice next door. It just isn't finished.
No, and I just haven't styled that in the same way.
No.
So the kitchen will be.
I think the kitchen will be, yeah. The kitchen's going to be amazing when it's done.
Okay. Again, for me, I think this room is definitely my favourite at the moment. It's the one, as Mark said, that's mostly done and styled. The kitchen, yeah. But do you know what? In my head, the ensuite
Ensuite,
bathroom
I knew you were
is the
going to say
one
that.
I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
That's the one where I have the most vision, and it's a brand new room, and I've gone full on creative on that one. So in my head, the ensuite is going to be my favourite. The kitchen I will love, and then, but at this moment in time, this room. As for the music, I am so pleased that you said that you like the music, because picking the music for my videos gives me the biggest stress each time. How many times do I say, I hate having to pick music, I don't know what I'm doing. And I get my music from a royalty-free website, which I'm a member of, subscribed to, called Epic Sound. And there is lots of royalty-free music, and I just go through and pick the music that I think suits my videos. And it's very jazz-based and classical-based and quite Bridgerton-esque, actually, in some cases, because that's the sort of music that I like. So I think when I'm putting my videos together, I do go for a lot of the period drama sort of field in some of them, because that's what I like. Hope that answers your question. Right, on to the next one. Okay, so the next question actually is exactly the same. Why and how and where you choose your title music? Oh, the title music of your channel. It matches your themes. The title music, again, is from Epic Sound. I believe that when I found it, I just searched for vintage, and that came up, and I love it, and it really does suit us and the channel. So yeah, I just searched and that's what came up, and I'm glad you think it suits the channel, because we did too. That was Tanya. This is Phyllis Cook. I too would like to hear about the history of Star Corner, and what was it that decided you to take on such a big project?
Stupidity.
Do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, it really was. It was about the property, wasn't it? Unless this had been in some, godforsaken area, it wouldn't have made any difference, would it really? No. So we were looking for the property. It had to speak to us, which all sounds a bit airy-fairy, but it did, didn't it? We walked in, and it was just like, wow. You could see the potential. You could see the history. You could see the mushrooms growing on the wall. It was just, it was just great, wasn't it?
And we're not going to, I don't think we're going to deny it. Houses are expensive, and we are quite aspirational, and we couldn't really get what we wanted. We have the vision and the ideas of what we would like, and we probably couldn't really.
We couldn't get what we wanted for our budget.
No.
So we bought the worst house in the best street. Yeah. Essentially.
And we're both creative and practical, and just thought, and certainly I grew up in a house where my dad did everything. Your dad's very practical as well and does things. So we were both used to our family members cracking on and working on houses. So it sort of almost seemed like a no-brainer.
Well, my family home was a home that nobody wanted to buy.
My family home was a home that
nobody wanted it, and then everyone was jealous when it was all done. Yeah. And actually this was almost the same, because developers, all sorts of people turned this down, didn't they?
Yeah, when my parents bought their house, everyone thought that we'd moved into the spooky house and thought that they were insane. So yeah, it's in our family blood, I suppose.
So we now have a house that we aspired to.
Yeah. For
a fraction of the cost, essentially.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've steamed up.
It's excitement.
Would you... Oh, this is you again. Would Mark be willing to share and maybe prep some of his favourite recipes? Does Louisa have any inspirational photographs for decorating the house she could share?
Okay, you've got your...
This is where, if I'd prepped, I would be able to do it. Again, I will move that onto another vlog, I think.
Yes.
Because I can show you all sorts of things and talk about how I have talked about my creative process, and I will add a link to it somewhere up here with photographs and things. Most of the stuff actually just floats around in my head, but yeah, I will deal with that in another vlog. But
I'll happily prep some stuff. We could do a whole thing on that at some point if you want. Yeah, I was thinking about this today because you did mention this one actually. So, actually, in recent times, one of my favourite recipes, and it is dead simple, and we don't have it that much because we try and eat low carb, don't we? So, is a Nigella Lawson recipe, which is just chicken, chorizo, onion, new potatoes. And then you zest some orange in there, don't you? And that is it. You chuck it in the oven.
That's the one that I do.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's really, really lovely. It's delicious. Always goes down.
Thyme.
Oh, yeah, some thyme in there, isn't there? And then that's it. But it goes down a storm, doesn't it, with people? And it's really, really simple. So that's my favourite recipe in recent times. Your lasagna was one of my favourite recipes prior to that.
Yeah, 2 recipes that I make. That are your favourite. It's probably
Are
you haven't had to cook.
Are you staking a claim for Nigella Lawson's as well?
Oh, yeah. So my lasagna and the Nigella's.
Yeah.
We'll put a link to Nigella's recipe in the description. My lasagna, I just make up, so I can't put a recipe for that one. But that's something that you might be willing to do more of.
We'll do it at some point, definitely.
You cooked yesterday, and we were saying how much you were enjoying it, and we both can't wait to get the kitchen done so that we can actually both start doing more in the kitchen. So I think you can expect to see more of that in the future. Okay, moving on. I think this is Ricky.
Oh God, I can't see that either.
No.
I can't see what that says.
Too long. I think it's Ricky. You keep mentioning all your beautiful crockery. How can you tell the difference between porcelain and ordinary? And would you mind listing the brands that you keep mentioning? I'm totally inspired to start collecting this weekend with a few pieces found on a second-hand market. Just need a huge cupboard pantry now. Might have to move house. So china and porcelain are the same thing. It's just the different way of glazing, as far as I'm aware. And bone china has bone in it, which makes it sturdier.
Makes it harder, doesn't it?
Makes it harder.
Yeah.
That's probably as far as I can go just in this. As for how do I know the difference, it doesn't help you, but I just know. It doesn't help. I'll just pick it up and I'll just know from the colour of porcelain and the feel of it. It's slightly thinner, I think, than English. French porcelain is thinner than English china. I've been collecting china for so many years that you just become...
And you worked in a china shop.
And I did work
when
in
you
a
were
china shop
a teenager, didn't you? So
we didn't sell porcelain. I did go through my pantry again. If I can, I'll add a link here, but I'll certainly add a link to that one in the description. And I did go through all the different crockery that I've got, and I know that when we were doing the vlog with friends yesterday, I was trying to mention what we've got. So moving forward, I will talk more about the brands of china, where they came from, how old they are, and try and talk a bit more. And I won't say educate you because I'll be educated myself, but we'll start talking about it more. Patricia, have you considered a possible timescale for completion of the renovation?
Oh,
bearing in mind that your 2 daughters might have relocated. And it would just be you and Mark. And is this your forever home?
we'll have more money to spend on the property if they leave.
Timescales. We've never wanted to put a timescale on it. We moved in. We did all the essential things. Say, for example, this weekend, we've really been feeling tired. Friends visited. We weren't quite sure how long they were here for. They came last night for dinner, and one of them popped back for coffee this morning, and that's all fine. And we decided to take the afternoon off, and it has been lovely. We work full time, and we just don't want to put ourselves under any pressure, do we?
No, I mean we want to get it finished, obviously, but I'm not going to kill myself doing it. So it really is a case of yeah. Sometimes I do bits in the week, don't I? But not that often. It depends on when I get back.
More through the summer.
Yeah, more through the summer when the days are longer. So get bits done in the week, and then maybe not so much at the weekend, and then hit it hard at the weekend. And then it depends on finances. It depends on whether we can get what we need. It depends on whether we can find what we want. Because in some cases it's reclaimed, and then we've got to look for it. So it can't actually be completed.
I think if we'd set a timescale on it, I'm not sure we would have enjoyed it as much. It would have
No.
felt too pressure. In fact, at the moment, we're trying to get the shower, we're trying to get into the bedroom, and we can feel our pressures rising, really, can't we? And last year when we were actually building the extension, and the room that we're sitting in now, the living room, the door into what is now the kitchen was actually just going out. We had an internal door going out into the outside because the kitchen wasn't built, and that was quite stressful as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we're trying to pace ourselves and not put ourselves under any timescale pressures. And as for the girls will have left, yes, they will, but that is one of the reasons why at every step of the way I've tried to make the house look as nice as possible, because yes, it is a renovation, but I've wanted them to feel that it's home as well, and I think we've succeeded.
And Imogen has her moments where I hate this house, and she throws a wobbly, doesn't she? But generally, they both love it. You know, it's relaxed. We don't worry too much about what they do, and they just enjoy it, don't they? And then they see things evolve, and it's quite exciting when we do something that involves them.
Having hot water this week, the excitement from both Imi and Rowan of we've got hot water was
because they know the shower's one step closer.
So no timescales, I'm afraid.
But we're probably about 80% there. So we haven't. It looks worse than it is. An awful lot of stuff could be done fairly quickly, but we've got to complete other bits before we can then move on. As
soon as we have the ensuite small bathroom done and we've moved into the bedroom with or without a wardrobe, that gets us to 90% done of the house, not the garden and our other plans in the garden.
Because then we're on to kind of decoration, and flooring.
And more. It's not renovation at that point. It's extending and stuff like that. So hope that answers your question.
We can revisit it, can't we?
Right. Okay. Are you feeling a big sense of relief off of you, even more than you realise it would be, now that the plumbers have come and now that you can move forward on your home?
Yes is the answer.
That's from Nebraska, USA.
I think yes is the answer to that, because it hasn't been stressful, has it, in that respect, because you knew it was happening, but it's just the whole process of finding a plumber in the first instance, as we've mentioned before, has been a nightmare. Then they went bust, the ones that we went with. They did a fantastic job, the guy who came along and did it. Then we've got a local firm who's come in, and now they've completed the job, and you kind of think, oh, thank God for that. Tick, it's done.
It is. It is a relief.
It is a relief, It is
a relief, and I'm thrilled that we can just move forward now. So yes, is the answer to that one. What is the beautiful fern-like plant in your garden? Is it large and looks quite strong? Does it like the sun or shade? It's a globe artichoke and it's in quite a sunny position, and it seems to be absolutely thriving there. And we have just come back from an open garden, and I thought mine was big. And then I saw the ones
massive,
in the open garden,
they?
and they were huge.
And they had artichokes on them, didn't they?
Artichokes on, so now I've got artichoke envy. But it's sturdy. It's quite a windy location, and at times really gets blown around, and it's still standing. I love them. I'm going to plant loads more. I think they're brilliant. So that's a globe artichoke. It feels quite scary not actually knowing what's this feels quite scary not actually knowing what's coming next.
You're at the end, aren't you?
That can't be at the end.
You are. That's all of them.
I must have answered some of them. Okay, that is the end of those questions. That wasn't too painful.
Nope.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please do keep sending questions through. We really do enjoy answering them.
There's a couple there we'll revisit.
So you or we will show more action in the kitchen. I will do a garden walkthrough. When we discover more about the history of the house, we'll definitely do that, but we'll also collate all the things that we found and show you that as well at some point. And I think that was it. Yep. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll catch up again with you next time. Bye for now.